bad segues. Jumping back to local holidays, this month we have something coming up called the Folsom Street Fair. You guys familiar with this? Some of you, yeah, some of you know. For those of you that don't, I'll try to tell you what the Folsom Street Fair is. It's where San Francisco's kinky sexual underground, the straight, gay, bi, leather, rubber, Brillo, Velcro, tattoo, pierce, atomic wedgie community come together. They have a block party. They have streets. They have vendors and naked people. It's kind of like a theme park, only the customers are the rides. but it's a little different from other theme parks you might know, like Great America or something. Like, for instance, if you slip and fall to your hardest, you don't plummet to your death from the Ferris wheel. You just tuck yourself back in and go buy a falafel. and it'll hold your interest too, more than something like Disneyland. Cause like if you go like Disneyland, I mean, you get the idea pretty fast. Like, yeah, whatever, fuck Mickey Mouse. At Folsom Street Fair, you could. I know that booth's there somewhere. I'm gonna find it. But yeah, you also get to see a lot of different subcultures in the gay community that you don't really see every day. Like there's this whole uniform scene where the guys dress up in uniforms. Y'all think that's hot. And actually, when I first came to San Francisco, I went to a uniform bar to see if there was a place for me in that whole scene. And I was all decked out. I had the full Burger King outfit. But I guess they weren't having it my way. But I figured out, because the night I went, it was like on a Wednesday, I noticed that everyone else there was dressed like in police uniforms, dressed like cops. So next week I went on a Wednesday, but this time I had a uniform from Dunkin' Donuts. I was the most popular guy there. My dance card was full. My classic police donut. Okay, moving on. Some of the groups at the Folsom Street Fair, you don't hear about much for a reason. Like, there's actually a group called the Northern California Professional Fisters Association. Yeah, no, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about them. I don't even know anything about them. I just think that the religious right can rest a little easier knowing that not all gay people want to shove their culture down America's throats. That was a bit of a groan. That's okay, though. I'm actually, from what I said, I should probably explain, I'm not actually into any of that kinky stuff myself. I know a lot of people that are, but that's not my scene. And I don't say that, I'm not being judgmental. It's just more like a philosophical difference. Like for instance, I consider it a really good night if my genitals don't get pierced. And as far as S&M goes, I've never let anybody abuse or degrade me or make me wear a humiliating outfit without giving me a paycheck every 2 weeks. And my friends at Hot Dog on a Stick will back me up on that. But I'm always looking for a way to make some extra money, though. So I had this idea. There was a place in San Francisco called the Power Exchange, a kinky sex club, and it closed recently. I thought, this is my opportunity. I'm going to open something like that. Of course, it's going to be kind of a little more my style. And I figure I'd call it the Power Outage for people like me that just don't have the energy anymore. We're heavily into leather sofas. So if you're a daddy looking for a lazy boy, that's the place to go. Of course, S&M is kind of redundant because by the time we get there, we're already beat. We did actually have a sadist out there. He hid the remote control, and we had to watch Ghost Whisperer for 3 hours. Yeah. So new safe word there is, this show sucks. We'll see how that works out. I don't know a lot about politics because I read the San Francisco Examiner. I don't know, you ever got that feeling sometimes when you close a newspaper that you might know a little bit less than when you opened it? I get that a lot. Went down to a coffee shop this morning, they were all sold out of the paper, so I just bought a cup of coffee and lied to myself for a half an hour. That worked out just as well. But my political leanings are kind of predictable because this is San Francisco, the Bay Area, where even gender is no longer a two-party system. So I'm a little left-leaning, but I do wish that I was a little more enthusiastic about voting. Because every time I go and I go to the ballot booth afterwards, I'm like, great, voting, that's to the list of regrettable things I've done in a stranger's garage. It's just hard to get worked up about it. Oh, except for there's this new thing that's kind of this exciting thing in the country, the new feminism. You guys heard about this? Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, a new feminist. I mean, it's kind of impressive. They figured out how to package feminism to the religious right. All they have to do is get rid of that whole pro-woman thing that's been holding back all these years and move on. We'll show them that, women can make choices in the economy, they can make choices about the country, as long as they don't make choices about their lives and their bodies, right on. Yeah, actually they still have a little work to do, because women are still more likely to favor strong gun laws. Men are still all about the guns, women not so much, which I think is just a marketing problem, because they don't make guns that look like vaginas. Now follow me on this for just a second. I know you don't want to, but just 1 second, because for one thing, that would be the safest gun. Because as you know, most murders are committed by men, and they wouldn't be able to find the trigger. So right away, safer gun. Right? Eventually would just go, okay, bang. Better world. They ever tell you about the time Sarah Palin shot a moose in her pajamas? How to get in her pajamas? Told her she was pretty. True story. I've got some other stuff to share with you folks. Another group that pisses off the religious right, even more than women, civic-minded drag queens. I know that was on the tip of your tongue, anyhow. But yeah, you guys, like this one group, you've seen a group called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, for like these non-drag queens. But the thing is, everything they do, it's all fundraising, it's all charity, it's medicine for people who don't have it, and it's all good causes. So how do people get pissed off at them? But apparently they've got some people mad at them. See, every year in San Francisco, in a park, the sisters on Easter celebrate their birthday. It's a big party, and they've been doing this for like a couple decades. And then a couple of years ago, suddenly the local Catholic Archdiocese in San Francisco decided to be really offended that the sisters were having a party on Easter. They said, well, you can't have it on Easter, that's our most high holy day, what with all the chocolate and bunnies and hams and football, and I'm paraphrasing. They said, you're making fun of the Holy Mystery where we, take a Savior and we cover him and put him in a dark place, and in 3 days he's written, oh wait, that's a sourdough recipe. Sorry, but you get the idea. They were really upset, and they actually petitioned the San Francisco Board of Supervisors to take away their permit for their party. And it was a mess. People were really upset on both sides of the issue. You couldn't turn on a television in San Francisco without seeing some local pervert in a dress and a silly hat and gaudy jewelry saying how much him and the other cardinals objected to all these drag queens. But you'll be glad to know that the sisters won out. They do have their party every year, and it's a big blowout. I don't know what they were so upset about. Was it the Hunky Jesus contest, the Easter basket contest? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's good, because one of the things that I love about San Francisco, and pretty much any event here, is the San Francisco drag queens. Anyone else, any fans of San Francisco drag queens? Okay, you gotta admit, they look amazing. The wigs, the shoes, they're just, in case you can't tell, I'm totally jealous of how good they look in drag. Because, believe it or not, I don't look that good in drag. No, don't be polite. It's true. No, really, you're just being nice. But I put a really good effort into it too. Last time I tried dressing in drag, I actually got a corset that gave me a 30-inch waist and a 44-inch neck. That's not what you want to see. But I have to ask you something. Do I look like a bear? Now, some of you know what I mean. I'm not talking about Yogi Bear or the kind of bear that steals your lunch at a campground, although there might be some crossover there, actually. But I'm talking about the San Francisco gay bear. Because in the gay community, bear refers to a gay man that's heavy, hairy. And see, my question is, does every heavy, hairy gay man have to be a bear? Can a brother just be a fat, hairy faggot anymore? Can I have that dignity?
Yeah.
Thank you. Some of my friends didn't want that. For years, my friends with good intentions were trying to put this whole bear label on me, bear. They were thinking it would get me more dates or something, and I wasn't having any of it. They're like, Nick, you should be a bear. Like, no. Nick, you're hairy, you should be a bear. Nick, you're heavy fat, you should be a bear. What? No. Nick, you dress badly, you should be a bear. What? Nick, you can make some money performing at bear events. Well, maybe I'm a bear. But actually, that is what it took. I actually did perform at a bear event, a big like bear weekend gathering with all the big hairy guys. And I was kind of scared of it, but actually it turned out to be okay. It was really nice and mellow. It was at the Russian Rivers thing called Lazy Bear Weekend. Yeah, and it turned out to be, it was okay. It's fun. In fact, I recommend the Lazy Bear Weekend for anyone that's going to a bear weekend. A hyperactive, fastidious bear weekend? No, avoid that one. The skinny gig? Oh, that's El De Castro. That's going on all the time. But yeah, actually, Lazy Bear Weekend was good. I might be going to an event called the Codependent Bear Weekend, if you're going. And I was thinking I might earn some money performing at an Asian bear event, but that'd just be pandering. I love you folks. You made my night. But yeah, the whole bear thing is really taken off really fast. It's a whole big subculture movement. It's really popular. Like there's a Starbucks in the Castro that opened a couple years ago that the day it opened, it became the Bear Hangout. I was there last weekend. It was packed. There's only 3 people in it, but they were bears. So, but yeah, it's kind of cool with this bear label thing. Like gay people are known for being kind of shallow and like looksism and stuff. And what the bear thing did was it took what was a negative body image and made it into something positive. Right, gave it a dignified name, bear. Because it didn't used to be that way, right? Back in the day, the OG, the original gays, they had this term called chubby chaser, which that's not very flattering, and it's not very accurate either, because it's not much of a chase, is it? I mean, look at me. What am I good? Maybe a half a block or something. Okay, you got me. I can't run anymore. As long as I bend over, you might as well just fuck me now. Hey, a Skittle. Thank you, everybody.